Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Billy and Joe Top 10 show. It's really not the Top 10 show anymore. It's like our top 20 plus bonuses.
Right,
I am
right.
Billy,
Hello, I'm Joe.
and you can catch Joe at,
Andy's local flavor.
there we go, at anchor.fm, and you're on iTunes. I don't have my card in front of me. I should have it memorized by now.
I'm also on iHeartRadio and Spotify.
And you can also see my little thing up top there, the Keeping the Nostalgia Live show. You can go there, Keeping the Nostalgia Live. It's all one word, .podbean.com. You can also go to our YouTube channel, the Keeping the Nostalgia Live show. Type that in, subscribe. You can see all of me and Joe's shows. And we're going to try and get a separate YouTube channel separate for our shows. But life happens. So, uh,
Yes, definitely.
yeah. So people tuning in right now are checking out a graphic down in the lower left hand corner. And today we are going to do top quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yes.
I think Joe has, I was, I'm not a huge football fan. And what the weird thing is I think in high school, because our football team wasn't as good
hmm
as our basketball team. I got that passion for basketball rather than football. And of course, the Colts didn't show up until '84, and they kind of sucked until they won the Super Bowl in 2007. But but we're going to do top quarterbacks today, and Joe is probably going to blow me away. And I'm going to let him actually. We were actually chatting before we started because we want to bring you guys other goodies, and that both Joe and I don't think we're going to have a football season this year. Do you agree?
Uh, they haven't had any well, let's talk about what's already gone. They flushed the Hall of Fame game. They flushed the preseason, and you've got minor players, I think, from every team who are sitting out the season.
Yeah, I actually saw 8 players were sitting out from the Patriots, which is a good thing for so we don't have to see the Patriots again.
Hallelujah.
But you know what? The Patriots would probably pull 8 people off the street and they'll be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no kidding. Belichick's, the evil genius.
Yes, he is, and it's all jealousy. We're jealous that our
I'm
favorite
not.
that our
No, I
favorite
can't stand the
that
guy.
our favorite football teams. I got you, but our favorite football teams can't. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you. I'm gonna let you start off your list, my man.
Okay, so I want to preface this with my list. Mine is more historical than trendy.
Okay.
All right, so my bonus pick at number 21 is from Tampa Bay and Washington, Doug Williams.
Oh, okay. And he also the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Correct.
Grambling State.
Yes.
Um, I remember watching that game too.
Yeah, great game.
Great game, great game. So now mine are going to be a little weird.
Okay, no
So
surprise.
it's maybe it's not a top 20. So
That's fine.
so I'm going to roll. I'm going to start it out with Jeff George. Look at that face, everybody. That
He,
is
he,
like
I'll give that to you because he was a Raider,
he was a
and
Raider.
that's when that was John Gruden's first year coaching the Oakland Raiders. So
He was a Raider, and he had a rifle.
yes, he did.
Our
But but when he wore out his welcome with the Colts, the offensive lineman said "Ole,"
right, right.
and he got killed.
Attitude, think more about yourself than what you should. A great athlete though. So maybe
Yeah,
he's toned down a little bit too because Jason Whitlock, who's a journalist, they were pretty close friends. So it'd be kind
right.
of interesting to get George on. Of course, Jeff George was on the Warren Central team that beat my Broderville Rockets in the regional finals of 1986 at Hinkle.
Right.
So we should have gone on and won the state championship from there. But a great athlete, great athlete. I'm not bitter much.
His son was really good too. I don't know how far he went, but
Yeah.
his son played for Warren Central.
Okay. And
Um,
his dad was a great basketball coach and football coach, if I'm not mistaken, at Tech.
oh, okay.
Yeah, go figure.
Um, he could be higher, but I kind of had to put him on my list because I'm not a big fan of this guy. I was no, let me take that back. I was a really big fan of this guy. Came from Miami of Ohio until he had the motorcycle accident and got had some. brain damage, I think, and then he kind of went south after that. But now he's kind of turned his life around again. Pittsburgh Steeler Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm not a fan of somebody that has enough cash to fix their legal or their immoral problems. So
Yeah,
I'm not a Big Ben fan. I just am not. Great football player, but
yeah,
I'm just it disappoints me. It's like it just disappoints me. But great football player and
yes,
and Super Bowl champion.
yeah. You have a very valid argument.
Yeah. Another guy within that, growing up watching the Colts all my life was Jack Trudeau. Played for University of Illinois and then was the Colts
Sure,
quarterback for a while.
sure.
It's interesting living down here in Houston. They're like, the Texans. Why don't you root for the Texans? I said, look, man, we had to wait about 27 years to win our Super Bowl. You guys have only been around for about 20 years. You still got about 7 years before you guys are going to win a Super Bowl.
That's an if.
Yeah, the stars have to be aligned, or shoot, there may be if there's a season this year that but then you got the asterisk next to it because it was
Yeah,
the COVID season,
right, right,
right?
exactly. Um, I I'm a Raiders fan, which a lot of people know. I was this close to being a Chargers fan. If the Chargers would have beat the Raiders in the 1980 playoffs, I would have been a Chargers fan. Quarterback Dan Fouts.
And a great announcer. I like what
Yes.
I like, or play by play, whatever you color guy, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
I really enjoy his commentary, but yeah, that's another. There's 4 or 5 football teams in the NFL that I could do without.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because they're not a winner. I don't know if it's because I don't live in that city, but
Mhm.
I'm just San Diego hasn't produced anything. They've been to a Super Bowl, but against the 49ers, but got blown out. I just, the Baltimore Ravens is another one of those teams. The New Orleans Saints was another one of those teams before they got Drew Brees and got good, and then we gave them the Super Bowl because of the hurricane.
Well,
That's legit, bro.
Tom used to call the plays for the Colts with Manning Colt. The same play 3 times to Reggie Wayne.
That's true. That's
Duh.
true. But still, I'm just saying that we felt sorry for that big hurricane that went through, and we went ahead and let them have the Super Bowl. What kind of football team? What kind of person would Peyton Manning be if he didn't let a hurricane ravage New Orleans win a Super Bowl? People are
And
gonna
then Courtney Roby of IU runs it back for the touchdown.
exactly, and people are gonna hate that I just said that. I'm just not a New Orleans. I'm just not a Louisiana fan.
Okay, well, I am. So there you go.
We can go with 5 states that could be dropped off the face of the earth, and Louisiana would be in that list.
I see.
People
Legion
aren't
of Doom.
people aren't going to like that. I forgot about that. Okay, so my next pick, his name was Cool. That's the only reason why I got him written down. Played for the Cowboys, and I think he played for the Colts for a little bit. Gary Hogaboom.
Really?
You got it. That's a pretty cool name, man.
Cool.
Hogaboom.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
I told you you're going to be the winner in this broadcast, bro.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like 18 quarterbacks before
Before Peyton?
for Jim? 18 quarterbacks before Peyton, and then Jim Harbaugh
Yeah.
capped the comeback. So
Yeah.
there's 18 quarterbacks from that time.
There was Mike Pagel.
No. Art
So
Schlechter. Yeah.
you can bet on that one.
Yeah, very badly.
People are going to hate that we just said that too.
Oh well.
Actually, I wonder what the over/under was that we would mention Art Schleister before we started the show.
It'd be pretty high.
Anything that you have to follow Hogaboom is a winner.
People really put this guy on a pedestal. I think he's a great quarterback. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback that ever lived, but Brett Favre.
Oh yes, nope, I agree. A good quarterback, and don't know if he should have made a comeback.
Oh no!
But when you love a sport and someone's going to give you millions of dollars,
Yeah.
So my next one, people are going to think it falls under the tennis category, is Chrissy Everett. I'm sorry, not Chrissy Everett. Jim Everett from Purdue.
Yeah,
And
he's a good quarterback for the Rams.
if you call me Chrissy one more time. Well, Chrissy,
Bam. Jim Rome.
Man, great stuff, great stuff. You know, I've thought about doing. I thought about several shows. I could have asked a question on one of my programs. Spencer Haywood gave me stood me up, and he told me that I better
Oh,
know my stuff, and he stood me up on an interview. So I kind of lit into him a little bit on, some of his stuff, but I could have been a little bit meaner about it. But I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be Jim Rome, and that's how Jim Rome really got
oh,
really caught fire. He'd already had his start, but caught fire.
yeah. I like him. I don't think he's best
Yeah,
ever, but I like him.
yeah.
He's all right. Um, Jerry Jones' favorite quarterback, of course, is Troy Aikman.
Oh, that's true, man. If you need bricks for your house, Acme. I think it's the Acme Brick Company, and that's the same one we talked about earlier with a Wile E. Coyote and our cartoon countdown.
Now that's who wrote all those. Oh my, that's gonna.
But
Yeah,
it's interesting.
No, that's Tex Avery that did the Acme
Yeah.
brick house.
Well, it's interesting too that we're giving these quarterbacks, and we're really not. I mean, I have a number. I have a number one. I have a number one.
Yeah, me too.
A top five, but these are kind of fun to go through.
Yeah,
One of my next one is Terry Bradshaw.
I have him much higher, but
He,
he does not get enough credit at
he
all.
does not get enough credit at all. I mean, these guys, played football without the advantages of technology in today's game.
And you could body slam quarterbacks in the 70s
Yeah,
on their head with no
yeah.
penalty.
Now, if you're running toward them, you get a flag.
Right,
Right.
right. The Purdue grad with Joe Tiller, the one and only Drew Brees.
Yeah, I've got him up a little bit higher on my list also, but great guy, great guy.
Yeah,
Also, it's sad in today's society though. You can't have your own opinion anymore. You have to customize your opinion to fit a faction of people.
yeah,
But he came out and he apologized, and people were happy about that. But man, people turn on people just like that
yeah. It's
today. I mean, it turns on you, and it's kind of wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no freedom of speech anymore.
No, there's not. No, there is not, and it's not protected whatsoever. Okay, so this guy thought a lot of himself, so much
Okay.
so that it was Joe Theismann, and he changed it to Joe Theismann, so Theismann Heisman. And wait a minute, wait. Oh man, let's see that on replay. Oh man, he broke it again. What an awful thing to watch. But Joe was a pretty good quarterback, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and not a bad announcer or color commentary.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, he played with the Argonauts, but I'm drawing a blank on the city. Was it Toronto?
You're talking about football in Canada,
Yeah.
where you can run into the goalpost and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to say the Toronto Argonauts, but don't quote me.
man, possibly, but I'm not a CFL fan.
Oh, I love CFL.
Yeah, see, you really love football, though. You truly have a passion for football. So
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's fun football. How you can play the football off the net, and
yeah.
it's I enjoy it. Um, my number one villain on my list. However, if you take away his weapons, he's kind of vulnerable. Tom Brady,
Man, you don't have him a lot higher.
the number one villain on my list.
Number one villain on your list. Okay,
I
okay.
had to put him on there.
Say what you want to say. I wish he would went to Indiana University. I wish he would have played for the Indianapolis Colts, and I would have loved him. I mean, he is the
Sure.
Michael.
Oh, yeah,
He's the
of course.
Michael Jordan of the NBA, of the NFL.
I disagree.
I mean, anything. And you're right. There, we talked about how 8 players have left the Patriots because because of what's going on in the world with the disease, with the virus. And it is amazing how that organization can just bring people in off the street.
Which is Belichick, and he did that in Cleveland, and he did that in
Was it the Jets or the Giants or
yeah, the
something like
Jets.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, he walked away from the Giants and went to the Jets, I think.
Okay. One of my favorite bands of all time is Electric Light Orchestra, ELO.
Oh, me too. Me too.
And when I was younger, before high school, they had "Hold On to Your Dreams" was a song, and it was a coffee commercial music. I don't
Hmm.
know if it was for Folgers or what it was for, but Kenny Anderson was in it from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Sure, great
So,
quarterback.
and he's probably one of the better quarterbacks that is not in the Hall of Fame and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Him and Jim Plunkett.
Yes, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Totally. And I thought Jim Plunkett would have been in there.
Yeah, he's not.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
My number 14, outside of his dad, Peyton Manning's idol, Dan Marino.
Oh yes. Laces out or
What's that?
were the laces in? He would have won a Super Bowl on Ace Ventura if the Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel, Finkel is Einhorn.
Right.
Laces out or die
Yeah.
down or
Laces
man, too
out.
bad too bad I don't have gloves. Too bad he ruined the gloves or OJ Simpson ruined the glove thing for him probably.
Laces out.
It laces out, laces out. So this guy, it was a toss up. You could go either way on being a Steelers fan or a Cowboys fan during the height of both of those teams.
In the 70s, right?
You know, and Roger Staubach.
I have him much higher.
I'm assuming you did, but what a great guy. Lost a couple of years too because of being in the armed forces.
Yeah.
But Roger Staubach, what a I'm not a Cowboy fan, but what just a model citizen to be a good quarterback and win some Super Bowls for the Dallas Cowboys.
I was a Tom Landry Cowboy fan. I do not like Jerry Jones Cowboys.
No, neither did I. Neither did I. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And then when he brought Jimmy, I mean, just the way that they took a legend and escorted him out the door, kicked him out the door, or pushed him out the door was kind of wrong.
I had a bit of a joke that I put on social media when Dallas had the Super Bowl. Um, uh, the first thing was take a guess how much a large cheese pizza was at the Super Bowl.
I would say
Oh,
probably.
I'm sorry. The regular season,
I would say probably $30.
300.
That's crazy. That's
And
crazy.
part two of the question of the comment was, they had an ice storm in Dallas for the Super Bowl, and nobody could go anywhere because they didn't have the removal equipment. And I wrote in social media, "The Revenge of Tom Landry."
Exactly. Or there's a lot of funny jokes out there on if you're in Dallas or if you're close to Dallas Cowboy Stadium or what AT&T Center or whatever they call it.
Yeah, right.
And there's you're safest there inside the stadium if they're having inclement weather because nothing touches down. There's yeah, I think everybody
Right,
that.
right. That's funny. My next up, he did not want to play for the Colts, so he played for the Yankees instead, and ended up being a Super Bowl champion, John Elway.
I won so much money off the second Super Bowl that they won because they won back to back.
Right.
Because I hate John Elway and the Denver Broncos so much that I knew they were going to win because I hate him so much.
Yeah, I can see that.
I was so solid knowing that the Broncos were going to win because I didn't want them to. Okay, so I'm going to roll one out to you. It's a cool name, Eric Hipple, Detroit Lions. You remember all those Sports Illustrated posters they used to do back in the 80s, late 70s, and then the 80s?
Yeah.
Well, that was the only one that was left to sell out of the rack was Eric Hipple. Had a beard.
I don't even remember him.
Had a beard. Detroit's another one of those places just, is cursed when it comes to football.
Yeah, no kidding. He finally got the monkey off his back. Great quarterback, the left-hander, went to law school. Steve Young.
Yes, good quarterback. And started with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
I mean,
and played in the USFL.
Yeah, yes. And I was a Buccaneers fan only because the helmets were cool looking, man.
The orange sickle.
Oh, my gosh. They went 0-14 one year, I think.
Yeah.
My next is Bob Griese.
I have him much higher.
You have him much higher. Well, yeah, Indiana boy.
Right. Right.
I think it was Rex Mundy High School that he went to. Of course, he played at Butler or Purdue as he was a
Right.
Boilermaker.
Right.
And the only quarterback to go undefeated and win a Super Bowl championship.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, he changed the game, and caused the NFL to concede Joe Namath.
Yes, Joe Namath, Broadway Joe. I can
Mhm.
still see him in those pantyhose he did on the commercial and on the
Yeah,
advertisements inside magazines.
so smooth.
Man, Joe Smooth had a little bit too much to drink one game. Would kiss the ESPN reporter.
Susie Goldberg.
Yeah,
Right.
but called it.
Oh yeah.
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 Um, my next one is Jim Zorn from the Seattle Seahawks.
Great quarterback.
Yeah.
Great quarterback. And then he
Uh,
had Largent to throw to.
exactly, but just not a lot of other tools.
Right.
I think what was it? Flores was the coach for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not a lot of tools. And another one of those people that I like the name, Jim Zorn, drops back.
So at that time, Seattle was in Oakland's division, so they just got pounded every year. But he was a great quarterback. My next up played in the Ice Bowl with Lombardi, Bart Starr.
Bart Starr, another one of those guys who thought he was a little bit larger than life. In
Yeah.
my opinion, I wasn't a fan. Of course, that's when the NFL really, and the Super Bowl and all that, really started to be what it is today. And
Right.
if it wasn't for a Bart Starr, maybe the NFL wouldn't be like it is today.
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay, so I lived in Kansas City for a little while, so
Hmm.
I'm going to use some words not on my list, but Steve Bono.
I know Steve. Yeah, sure. Steve
Okay,
Bono. Okay.
Another cool name was Elvis Gerbach.
And Elvis Gerback, right?
Yeah, so I got Elvis Gerbach on my list just because the name's cool and I love Elvis. Did you know that Elvis didn't wear underwear? Think about that the next
Okay.
time. Think about that next time you're watching a movie and go, "Oh wow, there are no lines." Billy was right.
Yeah, he just sang, didn't have any
Yeah,
lines.
Billy was right.
Um, this guy also changed the game about back when Cleveland was a winning team. Otto Graham. He used
Uh,
to wear number 60.
yes, yep, and also Sonny Jurgensen.
Right.
Yeah, so good stuff. I also have Brett Favre there and John Elway that you mentioned also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, this guy was not Mr. Hollywood at all, but he was Mr. Iron Man for football of the New York Giants, Y.A. Tittle.
Yeah, there is that classic photo I think of him,
Yes.
or maybe autogram, maybe it's Y.A. Tittle,
Y. Tittle.
where he's there and he's got his helmet off and he's bleeding.
Like a lot.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Nope, I agree. I'm not a Giants or a Jets fan
Yeah.
at all, but just a legend within the game.
Yeah.
So I have. What was the name of that show? It was a variety show, and one of Bing Crosby's daughters was a host. Um, I have Fran Tarkington next.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played with the Giants too. So.
Now, also too, I guess what's interesting about the Vikings and the Bills, they both have the same area code, right?
Zero,
Zero
zero,
four
zero,
zero.
zero, zero.
No, 0 for 0. I've been there to the Super Bowl 4 times. 0 wins, 4 appearances, and 0 victories. So 0 4 0. That's the. And you know what? And no disrespect to Jim Kelly, but I do not have him on my list.
I don't either.
Okay.
So we talked about Bob Greasy already, the first quarterback to wear glasses. His glasses is in the Hall of Fame. Purdue guy, and we talked. Nobody's done a perfect season since 1972.
And I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't
I
either.
don't. Just like in the NCAA, I don't think anybody's going to go 32-0 or hell. But some of these people play 36, 37 ball games, man.
Right.
So, but I don't think anybody's going to be a perfection like the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers at 32. No, I just don't think it'll happen again. Just too much competition.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so this will be an interesting because I know he's on your list. I don't know where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
The Snake, Kenny Stabler.
Yes, of course he is.
Just the cool,
Oh yeah.
he's just and a great football player. And you had some great, and Dave Casper, Fred Biletnikoff. I screwed that up. Sorry, Fred.
Right.
Cliff Branch.
Uh-huh.
Some great weapons. Ray Guy as the punter.
Yep.
And great coaches there.
John Madden.
Was there? Yeah, but the Snake.
Yeah, he's where he went to college?
Alabama.
Right. And yeah, so that leads into my next pick.
Forrest Gump?
No. Terry Bradshaw.
Okay.
Wins 4 Super Bowls with the Steelers. Who's the guy? Oh. The quarterback that was ahead of him at Louisiana State had a show, and it was 3 sons, and they all had long beards, and I'm drawing a blank. It was hugely popular, about life in Louisiana, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the show.
I drew a blank as soon as you said Louisiana.
Okay.
Or as we call it here in Texas, Louisiana. I know there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people who love Louisiana. I just think it's
I want to say his name's Dog or something. So anyway, this guy with this seriously long beard has a TV series. He was the quarterback ahead of Bradshaw.
Oh, really?
Yes. The
cool.
year before Bradshaw took over there at Louisiana State. So
I have Dan Marino next.
Great quarterback.
Yeah, and just it's so sad they didn't win a Super Bowl, but I don't think he gives a crap.
No. We talked about Kenny the Snake Stabler. It's a travesty that he didn't get in the Hall of Fame until after he passed away.
Oh, I hate that kind of stuff. If you've got what it takes, put them in.
Right.
Just put them in. It's just like the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, man. Put them in, man. And all it's going to do is bring you more money because you're going to have their family and friends want to come and want to, you know what I'm saying? It's just I agree with that word. That's a travesty.
And I was thinking about going to the induction for John Madden at Canton, Ohio.
Boom.
And
where did that truck come from?
It was $3,000. I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
And that was 10, 15 years ago.
Maybe if you didn't buy all of his games for Sega. You could
Which I don't have a Sega.
Well, it was years ago. Sega.
Tecmo Bowl with Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're a little bit younger than I am. I have Joe Namath next on my list.
Great
Broadway Joe. So
great. He was in the Brady Bunch.
Yes, he was. That makes him even cooler.
Right.
As long as it wasn't the episode where they're at Kings Island or in Hawaii with a little tiki doll.
And the tarantula that crawled on his chest.
Yes. And some good motorcycle movies. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, those Billy Jack movies that he was in.
Yes.
Yeah.
My next pick is Captain America. Can you imagine rotating every play with him and Craig Norton with Landry, Roger Staubach? Every play?
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yeah. Craig Morton.
Yeah.
The Orange Crush.
What? And that's the reason why the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in '77.
Oh, exactly. And he was a Cowboy at one point. And of course, we just talked about that. What number was Staubach on your list?
4.
4. Okay, so Roman Gabriel.
I love the original LA Rams.
Yeah,
Love them.
yes. Fred
So
Dreyer was on the original Rams too, who was in the TV show Hunter.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you did had the fearsome foursome.
yeah, and then you had Father Murphy on there, which was a break off of Little House on the Prairie.
Right. Yeah, great quarterback, great team.
Great name too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, um, he wanted to stay here, and the owner said, "No, we're going in another direction." Peyton Manning.
I have Peyton as my number one,
And I get that.
and that's just because I'm a homer.
Oh yeah,
And also, you know, he went to Denver, and also he's one of the few people that can take you from being a Colts fan and make you a Denver Broncos fan.
without a doubt.
Oh, was that sarcasm with the homer comment there? That was
Yes.
sarcasm, wasn't it? Joe.
Yes. Well, that's okay.
Okay.
It's all fun.
But I have him as my number one. Um,
Great quarterback.
yeah. So what was that? Was that number three for you?
Yes. Yes.
Johnny Unitas.
Great. Oh my. I can go on and on about him.
Yeah. And too bad he didn't know when to stop. And I think he ended up with the Chargers, right?
Well, he mentored Dan Fouts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, my number two, I mean, is really hard for me to pick between one and two. Joe Montana from Notre Dame.
Joe Montana's on my list at number two. I just wish he wouldn't have done Saturday Night Live with Walter Payton.
Well, you know,
Do you remember that episode?
no.
Okay, then we'll leave it right there. People can look it up. It's on YouTube. Joe Montana uses the word masturbate. So some go online and look at that there. Walter Payton and Joe Montana hosted Saturday Night Live, and I felt really bad that Joe did that. But no, great quarterback, 4 rings, um, man, and lots of great tools though,
I thought he had
weapons.
5 rings.
I think 4. I may be wrong.
Okay.
We can look that up later, I guess.
So,
Let's see.
oh well.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay. So, and your number one?
You already mentioned it. If it wasn't for this man, um, uh, there would be no football. Johnny Unitas. He called his own plays. Raymond Berry was the first one to run routes. You know, and and when they took up in the greatest game ever played, 1955, that was the first NFL game on television, black and white, I think. No, first, yeah, black and white. Um, I don't remember the head coach of the Giants, but the two coaches for, and I read the book. The book's fantastic. Johnny, it's called Johnny. The two coaches for the Giants were offense, Vince Lombardi, defense, Tom Landry, and Johnny Unitas, and the Colts still beat them.
And it's so sad that Peyton Manning wasn't allowed to wear the black shoes. And,
Ah,
that was
yeah.
so sad. And with all the stuff that's happening in the NFL, that was so sad that they didn't let him do that tribute for Johnny U.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. We didn't mention Andrew Luck.
I'm an Andrew Luck guy.
I'm an Andrew Luck guy, too. I guess can't be mad at him for getting out.
He played with separated shoulder for a year and a half, which I think is garbage.
But we thought we were going to win another Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was a very interesting top 20 quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't know if any of you out there agree with that. I'm sure a lot of you disagree with that. We should do an upcoming show on running backs or wide receivers or offensive weapons.
Do you have like 3 extra quarterbacks off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, let's see here. Hold on a second. Let me get my Face ID going on here. I had Zorn. Kurt Warner.
Yeah, sure.
Sacking groceries and then has a ring on his finger.
Yeah.
Poor Trent Green from the St. Louis Rams. I don't think they probably would have won it with Trent Green, but
Right.
that's kind of like how Bledsoe, and then all of a sudden you're injured, and all of a sudden Tom Brady's in there, and all of a sudden your footballs and your football cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers could have been on this list.
Yeah.
But again, I'm more of a historical guy than a popular guy for me. Who else?
And the guy you mentioned for that played for the Patriots and the Raiders, that's not in the Football Hall of Fame. That's
Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about George Blanda, played with the Bears, lit it up with the Oilers in the AFL, and then ended up being a kicker, but also a backup quarterback for the AFL Raiders too. So,
and we didn't talk about, what was it, Jamarcus Russell?
Do you want to know the story? I know the full story behind him. Do you want to hear that story?
Sure.
I respect Al Davis. However, he got to a point in my mind where he had dementia. So in Sports Illustrated, Eric McKenzie, the new general manager after Al Davis died, went to Alameda, California, and was running around the track to get some exercise, and he almost twisted his ankle. And he goes into the front office and he says, "Where's the groundskeepers?" And they said, "We don't have any." So he goes into the film study room and he says, "Where's all the films on all your years of Raider football?" "We don't have any." And then he looks for the college recruit films. They don't have any. So Al Davis drafted Jamarcus Russell after one game when LSU beat Notre Dame based off one game.
Just win, baby.
Just tank, baby. Yeah. They did several draft picks that made me pull my hair out, but yeah, that was not cool.
Joe, another fabulous show of the Billy and Joe Top 10 show. I couldn't make it rhyme with Billy and Joe Top 20 plus bonus. One of these days, people, we're going to do a true Top 10 show with no bonuses and no Top 20, and but that may not happen. Maybe this is what we're known for.
That'd be 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That's no fun.
Joe Carney from Indy's Local Flavor, thank you so much. And I am Billy Powell from KeepingTheNostalgiaLive.podbean.com. And also you can find both me and Joe's show on the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show on YouTube. Thanks again. Please go over to our Facebook page. Once again, I'll repeat myself again, the Billy and Joe Top 10 show. Like us. We'll have this show up and on there, and also on the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show channel on YouTube. Joe Carney, thanks a lot. Until next week, my friend.
Thank you. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel.